They were an unexpected force from the depths of the cosmos, wielding technology far beyond anything humanity had ever conceived. These were not diplomats or explorers, they were hunters. To them, Earth was just another hunting ground, and humans were the prey. Their arrival was silent, concealed within the shadows of night. Their ships, cloaked from sight, prowled undetected. The extraterrestrial predators had come, and humanity was unaware. At first, their presence was subtle, a few unexplained disappearances in remote areas, mutilated livestock discovered by bewildered farmers, strange lights flickering across the sky. These occurrences were dismissed as folklore, paranoia, or natural phenomena. Life carried on, oblivious to the fact that humanity had unwittingly become the hunted. But these predators were not mindless creatures. They were an advanced civilization evolved for one purpose: the pursuit, the strategy, the kill. For them, Earth was a proving ground, and humanity a new challenge. The first undeniable evidence of their presence emerged when a group of hikers vanished without a trace in the Rockies, their campsite left in ruins. A fishing crew in the Pacific sent one final, frantic radio message before disappearing forever. The few survivors who returned spoke of glowing eyes, unnatural strength, and weapons beyond comprehension, yet their warnings were dismissed as hysteria or fabrication. Governments took notice, but investigations yielded no bodies, no physical proof, only an unsettling void where life had once been. For the predators, this was a test of their abilities. They relished in studying their prey, refining their hunt. Humans, compared to their past conquests, were weaker, slower, and physically inferior. But they were also unpredictable, adaptable, and intelligent. The hunt began gradually. They targeted the isolated, the defenseless, those who would not be missed. It was never about extermination, it was about the thrill, the challenge. They sought to understand the limits of their quarry before escalating the hunt. Then, the disappearances surged. Entire villages were left abandoned, entire regions wiped clean overnight. The few who survived whispered of an enemy beyond comprehension. Despite their technological superiority, the predators embraced a primal savagery. They did not simply kill, they toyed with their prey, leaving cryptic symbols and grotesque trophies in their wake. Governments hesitated, bureaucracies slowed their response, and by the time military forces were deployed, it was too late. The predators had already adapted, studying human defenses, identifying weaknesses, and striking with merciless precision. For the average person, the invasion was a nightmare. Shields and armor were useless against energy weapons that cut through them like paper. The media scrambled to explain the chaos, while governments suppressed information in a futile attempt to prevent mass panic. But the truth could not be contained. Grainy, chaotic videos of alien creatures surfaced on underground networks. Fear turned into hysteria. The predators, reveling in their dominance, believed themselves invincible. For generations, they had perfected the hunt, refining their strategies against lesser species. And for a time, they were right. But humanity was not without hope. The first sparks of resistance flickered in the darkness. Farmers set crude traps, hikers learned to use the terrain to their advantage, a lone soldier blindly fired and wounded a predator. These moments were rare, but they proved one thing: the predators were not invincible. Yes, they were stronger, faster, and more advanced. But they were not unbeatable. The early days of the invasion were chaotic. Humanity had no strategy, no understanding of their enemy. The predators exploited every weakness, spreading terror with ruthless efficiency. Cities fell silent, communities scattered, and fear reigned. But beneath the panic, something stirred, an unyielding determination. Humanity was not a species that surrendered. The predators had conquered species far mightier than humans, but this time, something was different. Something they had not accounted for. Humans did not break. The hunt was supposed to be effortless. Yet instead of cowering, the prey adapted. The first organized resistance caught the predators off guard. Small survivor groups fought back, not head-on, but in ways the hunters never expected. Guerrilla tactics. Traps. Ambushes. Deception. The predators, built for brute force, found themselves outmaneuvered by a species that thrived on creativity. The first major victory came when resistance fighters managed to bring down a predator ship. The wreckage provided humanity with invaluable knowledge, secrets that would shift the balance of power. With every skirmish, humans adapted. They learned to predict the predator's movements, to exploit their overconfidence. Cities became battlefields, abandoned buildings transformed into deadly traps. Dense forests and endless deserts became weapons in themselves. Scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, reverse engineering alien technology. EMP weapons disrupted predator shields. Lightweight exoskeletons enhanced soldiers' mobility. Drones, once used for surveillance, became lethal attackers. The tide had turned. The predators, once untouchable, now found themselves on the defensive. Humanity's resilience had transformed them from prey into hunters. The invasion was no longer a game, it was a war. And for the first time in their existence, the predators knew fear. The predators, once so certain of their dominance, began to waver. Humanity's greatest strength was not its technology nor its weapons, it was its sheer will to endure. The predators had never encountered a species that fought with such relentless determination, that refused to succumb. And that, more than anything, unsettled them. For the first time, they experienced something foreign to their kind, fear. The hunters had become the hunted. As the war escalated, the predators, desperate to reclaim control, abandoned their covert tactics. They unleashed the full force of their military, blotting out the sky with warships. Cities burned, millions perished, but humanity had already adapted. They fought smarter, moved faster, and slowly, the tide of battle began to shift. The fall of the first major predator battleship was a turning point, a symbol of defiance. What was once a scattered resistance had coalesced into an unbreakable force. The predators, once the undisputed apex hunters of the galaxy, found themselves in an unfamiliar position. They were losing. What had started as a simple hunt had transformed into a desperate struggle for survival. Yet, in their desperation, the predators misjudged humanity's resilience and adaptability. Seeking to crush their opposition through sheer force, they deployed larger battalions and more aggressive maneuvers. But their overreach played into the hands of resistance leaders, who anticipated their tactics and laid devastating traps, inflicting heavy losses on the invading force. When resistance fighters began targeting key predator leadership, the war reached a crucial turning point. Intelligence gathered from intercepted communications and captured equipment revealed the rigid hierarchical structure of the predator forces. Resistance operatives embarked on high-risk missions deep into enemy-controlled territory, eliminating key commanders and disrupting their chain of command. These strikes not only destabilized the enemy but also bolstered human morale, proving that even the most fearsome of adversaries could be defeated. The war devolved into a brutal war of attrition, with both sides pushing their limits. The predators relied on their superior technology and physical prowess, while humans leveraged their ingenuity and adaptability. Each battle was a deadly game of strategy, with both forces striving to outthink and outlast the other. Knowing they could not match their foes in sheer strength, humanity focused on maneuvering around them, using deception and unconventional warfare to gain the upper hand. As the resistance grew bolder, their tactics evolved from mere survival to coordinated strikes. No longer content with just defending, they took the offensive, disrupting supply lines, raiding bases, and striking at the heart of predator operations. These missions, though perilous, dealt increasingly crippling blows to the invaders. Each success pushed humanity closer to reclaiming its world. The once dominant predators found themselves on the defensive, struggling to maintain control. Their strategies, once effective against less adaptive species, began to fail against humanity's unpredictability. Their forces, stretched thin across multiple battlefronts, were no longer invincible. The shift in power was gradual at first, but as the resistance's momentum grew, it became undeniable. The true turning point came when resistance forces launched a daring assault on a major predator command center. The operation, executed with precision, shattered the Predator's ability to coordinate their forces effectively. For the first time, humanity had not only survived but had taken the fight to the enemy on its own terms. In retaliation, the Predators lashed out with brutal force, but it was clear their grip was slipping. Once feared as unstoppable conquerors, they were now seen as vulnerable. Their once impenetrable armor, both literal and psychological, was cracking, and humanity exploited every weakness mercilessly. The realization that victory was within reach ignited an unbreakable resolve in the resistance. The war had transformed from a one-sided invasion into a battle for supremacy. Humanity, though battered and bloodied, had proven itself to be more than just prey. The Predators, blinded by their arrogance, were now forced to reckon with the consequences of underestimating the resilience of their supposed victims. As the war raged on, humanity sought to understand their enemy on a deeper level. Countering their weapons and strategies was no longer enough. The resistance needed to uncover what truly drove the Predators. Every captured piece of technology, every intercepted transmission provided invaluable insights. It became clear that Predator society was built on strict hierarchy, efficient for maintaining order, but fragile when disrupted. Resistance commanders realized that targeting high-ranking officers could create chaos within enemy ranks. With this knowledge, new missions were planned, ones that would strike at the very heart of the Predator war machine. The battle was far from over, but humanity had proven one undeniable truth: they were not merely survivors. They were warriors, and they would fight until the last Predator had fallen.